What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we take a look at a game that's been clattering across my desk over the course of the last week. Barony is the name of that game up on the block here today, and it's one that I've spent a stupid amount of time with. I came into this game just expecting a generic roguelike and ended up really enjoying it all the way through, and so I figured I'd make you an episode here today. Now, if you haven't heard of Barony, it's an old school roguelike that draws off some of the concepts from games like NetHack, Tome, Powder, Stone Soup, all of those sorts of things, but then it puts it in a Minecraft world and a first-person perspective. And while for some people that won't be enough, what I would say about this game is that it's not going to provide anything that you haven't seen before, but at the same time, it gives old concepts a new facelift, and I think that it ends up being a pretty enjoyable experience. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Barony with a new game. We gotta choose if we're gonna be male or female. I'm gonna make a female character because my last couple have been male. None of them have survived. They've all gotten brutally destroyed. This game does have a lot of permadeath. It does have a lot of instant death. It has a lot of things that are gonna get you along the way. But if you enjoy that sort of thing, I think you can have a lot of fun with this title, especially if you consume a lot of roguelikes like I do. I play a lot of roguelikes. If you're very nice to me someday, I'll tell you which one's my favorite. We'll continue here. We get to choose our class. Barbarian, high DPS, low armor. Warrior, pretty good all-around fighter. They do everything well except cast spells. The healer is exactly what it sounds like. Not very good at anything but healing herself, though. She can actually be turned into a fairly competent wizard if you manage to find the right spell books, but that's a pretty high gamble to take. The rogue I haven't played yet, so I can't speak to that. The wanderer is a jack of all trades. They have a little bit of everything, but really not good at anything. The cleric is exactly what you think it is, a holy man or a holy woman. Very good at casting divine spells, sword and board type mace stuff. I don't know. I prefer clerics and everything. You guys know that. I've talked about it before. We probably won't play one here today because that is my class of choice, and I want to get outside my comfort zone today. The merchant, good at selling and appraising items. Pretty much it. Not good at anything else. The wizard, you can guess what he does. The arcanist is a spell sword. It's a mixture between like a rogue, a warrior, and a wizard. A little bit of a jack of all trades class, but still pretty fun. I've enjoyed my time playing the Arcanist, and the Joker's going to be the other class that I haven't played at all yet. So the Joker and the Rogue are the two that I haven't touched on a whole lot, but everything else seems to have its own little niche. It just depends on what your play style is. Obviously, if you're the healer, you're going to run around in circles and be like, ah! And heal yourself while they stab you in the rectum over and over again, and you can hope that you can heal faster than they can damage, and every now and again you'll throw out a punch or something to knock them out. I do like a lot of the classes. I feel like they're designed well. I haven't seen a lot of imbalances thus far. Some classes are a lot better in the early game than the late game, and vice versa, but that's just part of designing classes. So anyways, we're going to play the Arcanist today because I think it's going to give you a really good idea of what it's like to play just about everything wrapped up in one class. So the Arcanist comes with a crossbow, she comes with a light spell, I think, and then she also comes with a sword, and from there on out you can develop things as you see fit. Now when you level up in this game, it is a little bit weird. It kind of chooses your stats randomly, and so that's going to be something that people don't like, but we'll talk about that once we get to it. Let's choose our appearance. You can be a Landguard, which is a brunette, a Northborn, which is going to be a blonde, a Firebrand, that's going to be your ginger. The Hardbred is going to be another brunette that looks fairly similar to the Landguard. Oh, it's like a lighter brunette. Okay. I assume that they like hardtack because that is a hardbred. And then you've got High Watch, which is the one we're going to pick. I like a raven-haired lass, so that's what we're going to go with. Let's jump on into the game. We got to choose a name. I'm going to go with Wrangle Rouser, which is my go-to roguelike name. There it is. We could choose single player or multiplayer. If you wanted to play with your friends, you can, although I don't know how the difficulty changes because I feel like this game would actually be a lot easier with friends. It's pretty challenging to begin with, but you can get some very good luck that can make you a god by the end of the game. Playing with multiple players, I would assume that at some point they would have to add more monsters or something to make it better, but it's not something that I've had time to test just yet. So just be aware, I can't speak as to the efficacy or the refinement of the multiplayer experience as of right now. Let's go. Alright, so now we're in game. This is exactly how the whole thing's going to look. Some people are going to nitpick about the fact that the game doesn't look very nice, but honestly, that's par for the course with roguelikes. It's very rare that you ever get a roguelike that looks really good and has amazing AAA graphics. When it comes to roguelikes, I don't mind the representation because I've been trained over the last, 10, 15 years of playing random games on the internet developed by some guy in his basement that just be glad it's not ASCII. I mean, some people like the ASCII. I'm not one of those people, but just be glad it's not ASCII. Let's go ahead and pull that switch right there by using our right click. We start with a crossbow, which goes pa-chow, pa-chow. That is the sound that a crossbow makes. So what does the crossbow say? Pa-chow. That's pretty much it. End of discussion. We've got a sword that we can swing around. It's pretty quick, although we probably won't use it very often. And then it looks like we've got a staff of opening, which means that it opens up locks. Inside of our inventory right here, and I'm not talking about the Jewish food, the Hebrew food locks. Not talking about that right now. You don't need to open up locks. It's thin enough already. Don't need to cut that particular thing. We start with a serviceable leather breast piece. We start with a worn hood. We get a worn cloak. It's being worn right now, so I figure it would be worn. That's very, very literal naming. We've got serviceable leather boots, and then we've got nothing else. That looks to be it. We've also got a spell book of light, so I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to read that. We're going to learn the spell light, which is going to be right here, or if we wanted to go to our spell book, we can press the M key, which will put us in here, and we can drag and drop those wherever we want them on our HUD. For right now, I'm going to ready that by pressing 4, and so now that it's readied, I'm going to cast it. And actually, no, I cast with F. That's what it is. And so there it is. Oh, it fizzled. Okay, so there we go. And now we've got a little pet that's going to follow us around and illuminate our path so that we don't have to use a torch and use up an offhand. Go through the door and down into the dungeon, and let's begin. Let me get a real weapon out real fast. We should probably make use of our speed in here because our character is pretty fast. The guy that owns the dungeon likes to taunt you along the way. Some of the levels have time limits. I don't know if that goes for all of them, but for right now, I'm going to get that skeleton right there. Let's take care of business. Hopefully we can fish out a couple of crits. I can outrun him if we can't. Alright, so some damage done right there. Let's back up a little ways. He's going to come around the corner. A little bit more damage and he should go down. There's a little bit of gauntlet mixed in here too. I can definitely, with the ranged characters, I can feel the gauntlet influence as I play. We got a helmet right there that I can pick up, and so I'll take that, a decrepit iron helm. I don't know what line of work it was in before this, but after it started girding heads, it went decrepit. We've also got ourselves a bronze shield that's decrepit. That's unfortunate because it's not going to be very good, but what it does do is it gives us an opportunity to start appraising things. You want to get your appraisal skill up, so if you look over here on your character sheet, you've got your XP, you got the level of the dungeon you're on, your class and all that stuff. You've got your stats. A lot of ours are knocked down slightly. Those go up when you level. Your armor class down here, higher is better. Gold allows you to buy things when you find shops in the dungeon. The amount of stuff that you're carrying around, so as that weight goes up, you'll get slower and slower. So if you wanted to play a speed build, you want to keep yourself unencumbered. On this side, you'll see all of our various use skills. So we've got lockpicking, stealth, trading, appraisal. We've got swimming, leader, and casting. Those all basically do exactly what they sound like. Appraising is your ability to identify items. You can do that from anywhere. So as we play the game right now, that shield is being identified. It may fail, but we want to level it up by failing over and over and over again. Our appraisal skill, that is. We want to level that up by failing a lot, and so I just tend to keep something running a lot of the time in the early game because it saves you a lot of time later on when you're trying to appraise better items. It also makes your life easier because you can figure out if something's cursed or not. We got a rock right there. Oh, it's a crack rock. Okay. So we found a crack rock in the dungeon. We got ourselves a moldy cheese. Those are actually really, really good for leveling up your appraisal. Oh, we got a rat right there. Let's go ahead and take care of him real quick. Rat's the bread and butter for the newbie adventurer. A little bit more right there. Slightly aged cheese. Did that mean it's of higher quality than a non-aged cheese? Because I think all cheese needs to be aged, doesn't it? So we failed to identify the shield, but we got cheese now, so that'll make our lives easier. We'll appraise that one right there, and so yeah, you can see it's a lot lower item level. Got another rock over here. I'm going to take that just so I can identify it. And so we failed to identify a slightly aged cheese. Let's start on a rock then. We instantly failed to appraise it. And I'll try again. One more time. No, don't equip the rock. Just try to appraise it. I don't want to equip it either. Let's go ahead and wield our sword back. Now you can parry by pressing the space bar, but I don't have a shield right now, so it's a little bit dark. Is my little light globe still with us, or do I need to recast that? Let's recast it. Nope, I fizzled again, and again, and again. There we go. So now we got the light spell up and running. We got a scroll on that side and a treasure chest. I'm going to be greedy and go after the treasure chest first. I don't see any bad guys down there, I don't think. The chest is empty. Oh, I've been juked. That's disappointing. Inside of this right here, we'll see if we got anything in this corridor. Now, they do change the tile sets as you get further and further into the game. I don't know if we're going to make it that far today, but the goal is to find the next ladder that goes downwards. That's actually really, really standard fare when it comes to roguelikes. I can remember older ones. For example, in Powder, I think the goal was always to find the ladder that goes downwards rather than the former that goes downwards, but you know what I mean. We'll grab the cracked rock right there. Did my appraisal work at all? Let's keep working on it. We got another cheese off on this side. We got a rat right there who I'm going to stab to death. Away with you, rodent. Away with you. We failed to identify another cheese. We're having bad luck right now. Keep trying. All you got to do is appraise it one time, and then once the leveling up is started, it's actually not that bad of a process. But up until you appraise that first cheese, ooh, gold. Leverly. So we got 74 gold pieces that we can spend on, I don't know, grills or whatever it is that we're going to do, spinner rims. I don't know what our plan is once we get out of the dungeon. Maybe start a respectable business or something. I'll throw something pragmatic in there while we're talking about random stuff we could spend our gold on. I don't see the ladder just yet. Let me get this out. I think we're carrying around too much weight. Let me ditch some rocks. There we go. And there's no reason for us to have a spell book either while we're here, so that'll get our weight down a little bit. I'm not going to use the iron helm because it's too heavy for what we're trying to do right now. The bronze shield might be useful, so let me put that on the 5 slot. We'll take it off the 6. Oh, that isn't what I wanted. The targeting in this game is mercifully very, very good because items tend to land on top of each other, and I swear it's actually really, really easy to find the thing that you need whenever you're trying to loot stuff off the ground. Some games have a problem where when there's like 5 things stacked up, it's difficult to grab the one that you want, and this game does not have that. Oh, we got another skelly. We put some damage on him, then I'll run away with my superior speed. Just keep on firing. See if we can kite him out a little bit. Not doing a whole lot of damage. Oh, there's another one over there too. We got to be careful. He can actually hurt us pretty badly right now. I think he hits for like 10 to 14 damage if he can get near us. So we'll keep on firing. Just using cheese mode tactics to take him out. Hopefully we'll level up after this kill or the next one. What's our XP at? We're at 86 out of 100, so we should be able to level up pretty soon. I tend to collect shields because I use them a lot. Shields in this game are really, really powerful because they negate the damage you take from an attack. And so if you can level up your shield skills, you can actually end up with a character who doesn't take much damage along the way. And if you combine that with a really, really high armor class, life is going to be made in the shade for you. I feel like making something in the shade would ultimately make that thing of very low quality because you can't see properly while you're crafting it. So we leveled up. We got strong, personable, and I think hardy, which means that we got some strength, we got some more charisma, and then we got some more constitution. That means that since this character has gotten himself melee stats, we probably want to move over to sword and board to make our lives easier. So let me bring this over to here. We'll use both of those, and if I press the space bar, it'll allow me to block. I thought I heard the sound of walking, but maybe not. These jail cells, you always want to open these up because sometimes there's characters inside of them that'll join you for your adventures. They don't have like full personalities or anything like that, but it's like having an extra pet to make your life easier. So, you know, it's somebody to ditch in the case that you find a troll around that tries to murder you. Oh, we've aggroed a skeleton. Okay. Well, since he's... There it is. Keep that timing down. And he broke our shield, but luckily we managed to finish him off before we took any damage, so very, very nice. I don't know if that leveled up our shield skills at all. It looks like, as far as our skills go, we have novice skill level, so that's really, really good. We want to get that up to basic so that we can block even more. We're hungry right now, so I'm going to try and eat something that's good for me. Some of these are bad, though, so they have a chance to make us really, really sick. There we go. We're not quite full yet. I don't want to eat any more, though, because it puts us at a hazard. On this side, can we be refreshed? This is actually a sink, and the water was scalding, and it burns our face. Unfortunate. Now our face has burn marks, and everybody's going to look at us all weird. Oh, it looks like he murdered somebody in here. A wizard who had plate mail on, so he had an axe. What does this do? The water refreshes you somewhat. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I assume it did something. We've also got a scroll right here. And those are in the old school style of having just some random rambling on top of them until you identify them. I'm going to keep trying to identify cheeses, and hopefully that works out for us. Go back off to the left to check this jail cell. Nothing in there. So as you can see thus far, it's a very old school roguelike, and it doesn't do anything new, and I already said that to begin with. But at the same time, for whatever reason, the representation and them just kind of like modernizing it a little bit and bringing it up kind of into the public eye by using Minecraft graphics and things like that, I don't know. I've enjoyed what it's been so far. Got a long corridor right here. Hopefully whatever's at the end doesn't want to gnash or destroy us. I don't feel like being gnashed today. Anything inside of here? We're also, since we sustain our spell... Oh, rock trap. Close the door. I think it rolled the other way, but these rock traps, you see that on the ceiling right there? When you step on a random tile lined up with this, it'll fire a big rock at you that kills you instantly. It looks like it rolled off down this way. If it had come towards us, I'm not sure that the door would have blocked it. We might have gotten ourselves into trouble and died. We need to find this. Oh, we already found the ladder? We must have walked right by it. You can see it on our map down below in the bottom right-hand corner. It blinks. And so that little blinking red dot, that's where we came from. I don't want to go in there. That's the jail cells. Was there anything around here except for that big rock that almost crushed us? It looks like the answer would be no. We're feeling hungry again. What hungry did to us, I'm not really sure, but we're feeling him up. We've also got worn gauntlets. Those might be cursed, so I'm not going to fiddle with them for right now. Keep trying to appraise some cheeses. And I think we'll probably go down right here. We failed to identify the cheese. That's a little bit unfortunate. I don't think there's anything in here that we have to worry about, but I will take a torch from this fire pile right here. It gives you free torches. So if you need a torch, that would be the place that you get it from. I'm going to throw that on my inventory in the 4 slot for illumination items. Oop, and let's get our sword out. We'll fight with the rat for just a minute, and he's now down, and he dropped himself a moldy cheese. Lots of moldy cheese going around, which is unfortunate because we need to eat. We're like starving to death right now, and food that's bad for you tends to make you sick and vomit. We're not quite full yet. Okay, well there it is. Maybe moldy cheese is incapable of getting us past not quite full. In any case, we've got a sling right there. doubles as a thong just in case you needed yourself some underwear, so keep that in mind. Works out pretty well. It might get you some raised eyebrows, but it's been working out pretty well for me. I think there's a troll on this floor, and so we got to watch out for him too because he one-shots you at this level. He is not fightable, so if you end up on this level finding yourself with a troll, don't fight him. Run for your life. It's your only chance. Try to lock him behind a door or something if you can. Sometimes you get stabs of locking, and so you can like kite him into here and go around the edge and then run out behind him, close it behind him, and then lock the door, and he'll never be able to get out. Some mobs will actually try and destroy the doors. Ooh, let's take our staff of unlocking out. So there it is. Where does this lead? To anything nice? Sometimes you use magical items to get a door open, and you end up just like squandering it. You don't get anything out of it. Yeah, it looks like it was a dead end. Nothing to worry about right there. Let's continue our look around. We hit that switch right there, but I wasn't listening very carefully. So unfortunately, I don't know what it goes to. Other things you can try and identify early on in the game, maybe try appraising. I know we don't, do we have any appraisal skill? We have no appraisal skill. That's really, really bad because we need to get this done like right this second. I'm going to try one more time. Like all we need to do is identify one item. It'll bump us up to novice, and then from there we'll be able to identify just like basic stuff. But you have a little bit of a difficulty curve for right now, especially since, what's our perception at? -1, so that's the other problem. I think perception plays into you identifying items as well, and so since it's at a -1, we may have to wait till we get a level up so that that's evened out so that we're not taking penalties to identifying the simplest items in the game. Yeah, I think that's what we got going on right now. Nothing over here. Keeping a look on our map, or keeping an eye on our map. It looks like we got a big chasm right there. Don't worry about it. You can't fall down it. That's not something that's in the game right now. It'll actually use a clipping plane to stop you once you walk over there. What is this? We've got a faded copy of Surviving the Mines. If you were interested, there's actually lore in the game that you can read out of some of these books, but I'm just going to ditch it for right now. It's extra weight that I can't carry. Got a whole bunch of potions right there, and a rat that's biting my behind. We got another moldy cheese, which is unfortunate. You regenerate your health. If you look down at the bottom left-hand corner, I don't know if I brought that up, but you have HP and MP down there. Both of them regenerate all by their lonesome, but it takes a good long amount of time. And unlike other roguelikes, you can't rest in this game, and so you just kind of got to wait for it to happen. I hope they add a rest command that allows you to trade maybe like your food level for a little bit of HP, but we'll see what they implement later on. The game is supposedly a full release, I think. Like, I think it's all done and ready to go. It doesn't have the banner on Steam that says early access, so that would be my assumption. We got a bunch of potions right here. Unfortunately, the potions can do a lot of bad things to you, and so I'm a little bit nervous about using any of them until I have appraisal skill and I can take a look at them. We could try and appraise it right now, but I doubt it's going to go through, especially the slower that it appraises, the higher level it is, so I don't know. I might just stick with cheeses. Nothing inside any of these alcoves. I was hoping we might end up... We failed to identify the cheese. What is this right here? A ring? Let's pick up the rough ring, and if I equip it, what changes? Nothing changes right here, so I'm forced to assume... Nothing changes right there. It will update your character sheet when you wear it. I don't know what that does. Yeah, I don't see anything changing. Huh. Okay, well, maybe it's just like a normal ring that doesn't do anything. Luckily, it's not cursed. There are cursed items in this game when you pick up too many of them. I'm going to ditch some of these weaker shields, I guess, to get my weight back down. My weight is way too high, and I'm walking really slowly. And so once we ditch those, I'll probably be able to get rid of the gauntlets too. Throw the sling because I'm not going to use it. I have a crossbow. As far as weight is concerned, we got 2 of the purples. This tastes like poison. So why do you have an encyclopedic knowledge of what poisons taste like? Is that just like a hobby of yours, just drinking poison vials you find in dungeons? Oh no. We might be toast. There. Oh, we finished him off just in time. I was going to say, I'm a little bit worried that we were about to die right there, but... Now that our health is so low and we're feeling faint, I'm going to eat that cheese real fast so that we're not still hungry. Maybe eat that one. You're still hungry. Let's go down to the next level and maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know. This is a bad run for us right now. RNG is not being our friend. Anything along this way? Oh, okay, so this is a Minotaur level. The thing about the Minotaur level is that you're meant to speedrun it as fast as you can. So if you're here for more than like 3 to 4 minutes, the Minotaur will spawn and it'll take you out. So I would highly recommend that you just run through as fast as you can, looking for anything that'll get you the hell out of here. We got a big spider on us right. There's the troll, and we got obliterated. Welcome to my life in this roguelike. Well, let's restart. We'll try a different class, something that I'm a little bit more accustomed to. I do like our character that we played right there, but his appraisal skill leaves something to be desired. So we'll go back to the main menu. Let's jump into a new game, and that's the troll that I was talking about. That's why you don't want to fight him. We'll try... Let's do the warrior. Let's do the barbarian. I like the barbarian. The barbarian's pretty cool. I've had fun with him. And so we'll go after that. No magic skill to be spoken of. We'll make him Northborn so that he has the blonde hair. Oh, apparently he has a helmet on. I couldn't tell. I thought that that was just like part of his hair and then he had like big sideburns or something. Okay. And we'll go Wrangle Rouser one more time, leading to excess confusion whenever I look at my top scores. Awesome. Back into single player, and let's see what we can get done in the next 5 minutes. But yeah, I did find this game to be pretty pleasurable. I honestly, whenever I play a new roguelike, like I said earlier, I'm always skeptical about games, and I say that every single episode, but I'm always amazed by how many games just come along that I end up enjoying, and maybe that's just because I'm easy to please. But, you know, my pleasing hood aside, okay, so we got a Skelly right there. I did like this as a roguelike. There are little things that I don't like. So, for example, the AI is really stupid and gets stuck on walls and things of that nature. I don't like this darkness effect that they have where... Here, I'll show you. So when I walk down a hallway, there's kind of like an imposed fog of war on your character while you walk around. But if you take out a torch, you see how it brightens up as you uncover map spaces? I don't like that very much, and I wish they would remove it and just leave the whole thing dark. I don't like how it becomes more illuminated once you've explored like a particular region. It's just like an odd thing. And that little slight lightning right there that you see in the screen, it bothers my eyes after a while. So that's a little thing that I would definitely say I wish would go away, or at least allow me to disable it. Kill off some rats real fast because we are the melee master. The rats aren't dropping anything for us, which makes me a tad worried. Sometimes they drop fresh meat, which is a really, really good food item that you can use in order to make yourself fill back up whenever your hunger meter is down. You don't have a hunger meter, but you get what I mean. The internal hunger meter. This room's looking good. Nothing back in and around here. I'd also love to see with this game, like, little things that they could add to make it a little bit more fun. I would love to see, like, secret doors, Wolfenstein style, inside of the game. And that's actually what the graphics remind. I don't want to fight you right now. I need to get my shield out so that I can parry that blow. There is a timing to parrying and swinging, and so you'll have to learn that along the way. We may lose our shield right here, just based on the fact that he's going to DPS pretty hard against it. It's only made out of wood. Luckily, we'll get a couple of replacements right here, so let's grab that. Did he have pants on? What is that? An iron helm? Okay, so we got ourselves a worn bronze sword. Were there 2 shields in here? I thought there was 2 shields. Okay, so this shield is useless. We'll throw that out real fast because it's just adding to our weight. Got a decrepit wooden shield right there. I'm going to identify this cheese. That's going to work its way on up. Hopefully we'll get an appraisal point for it. Yeah, that's the broken one right there. Where did that other shield go? So we identified a moldy +0 cheese. Your appraisal ability has gone up. Good. Try to do that helmet right there. Can you do that? Nope, can't do the helmet. Okay, well, we've got booze with us. Apparently, that's what the Viking barbarian brings along with him, alcohol. Just in case the adventuring life is too difficult, he can get sauced and wash it all away. Bring that over to this side. All right, we got our shield out. Let's take a look into some of these new areas and see if we can have a good time. Plan to die a lot in this game. It's one of those things that I just expect to happen. We've got a well back up in and over here, and sometimes you get really good enchantments from this. The fountain blesses your equipment, so that's exactly what I was talking about. If you look at our equipment now, some of it should be +1. I think we only had a helmet and a... Yeah, we're pretty much walking around nude aside from our helmet and our axe. I guess that's how barbarians do it. But now we have a +1 axe and we have a +1 helmet, so we got a little bit out of that. It would have been better if we were wearing more armor, but no complaints from the free section. No complaints on something that came free. Got a ring right there. Probably won't be able to identify that for a little bit. Let me get my torch back out. We've got the meaning of the labyrinth. I would assume that the meaning of any labyrinth is to help you get lost. Like, that's the point, right? At the end of the day, you're supposed to get lost in the labyrinth. Shouldn't be that hard to derive. Off and to the left on this side. It looks like we got nothing going on. What was that? Ooh, a free meat. Hell yeah. I love free meat that I found on the floor of a dungeon that nobody's been in for hundreds of years. Why worry about a thing like that? Left and right. Oh, another ring. Badass. You can only wear one at a time, but there are some really, really powerful rings in this game. Rings and necklaces you always want to pick up because they have really varied abilities that can turn you into a juggernaut single-handedly. We got a ladder right there to the next floor, so that's the exit that we were looking for. I would highly recommend that you clear out every single floor, though, as much as you can, unless you're on a Minotaur level. I would recommend you clear the floor as fast as possible on Minotaur levels, but if you're in a level where there's no time limit being imposed, I would recommend you run around and kill everything, you loot everything, and you make sure you're as equipped as possible. There's a gravestone over there. It seems like an odd thing to bury somebody under a brick floor, but maybe they have raccoon problems or something. That's why you can't bury your dog or your cat in the backyard where we live, because raccoons will come dig them up and eat them. Got an aged apple right there. You should have seen things in his day. Ooh, a big stone trap almost got us right there. I didn't even see that. Let's continue to appraise, shall we? Appraise that one very, very quickly. We can take the torches off the wall, by the way, if you wanted to do that. I don't know. It's got like another one. What was the name of that game? Shadowgate or whatever? You could take the torches off the walls. That's what I always remember there. We got 107 gold pieces. We've got Here Lies Johnny Yeast, pardon me for not rising. Well, if you do, you're a zombie, and I like to destroy aberrations of the flesh, and so I will annihilate you if you try and rise up around me. Nothing in here. We got a sling. Let's continue to identify stuff so that we can level up our appraise. Maybe a bronze sword. We might not be able to do that one. It's going a tad slower. We'll see what happens. In here, it looks like we've hit the edge of the dungeon, and so for right now, I'm going to head back to the ladder, and we'll get the hell on out of here. This seems like a really, really good spot for us to talk about the game. I know I try and do it on my way through, but let's do our pros and cons real fast. I don't know why I call it pros and cons anymore, because I do much more of a formal review now than just pros and cons. But anyways, let's have at it. As you can no doubt tell already, I like the game quite a lot, and once I got over the initial learning curve, which wasn't so bad while we're talking about it, the rest of the game flowed pretty naturally. I think the most important aspect of any roguelike is the balance of randomness versus skill, and I think that Barony hit pretty close to the mark. Occasionally you end up getting whomped by like 30 skeletons in the first room or a mini-boss in the second closet that you open, but most of the time when a character ends, it's because I ran out of resources, potions, scrolls, and the like, or because there was a new mechanic that I wasn't sure about, and I'm looking directly at you, Indiana Jones Rollerball Death Trap. Still, you're gonna die to things outside your control in this game, so if RNG makes you very, very angry, I just keep on walking when it comes to Barony. There's also not a ton of mechanics in the game, and so I'm really hoping that they'll add more in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. During my 3 to 4 hours that I spent with Barony, I made it pretty deep down into the dungeon, and aside from new critters, there aren't a lot of surprises. Traps remain the same the entire game, as do random decorative items you interact with, and the same goes for loot and companions. Graphically, I understand that the game isn't going to do it for some people, so I'm fine with that facet. I'd have preferred something less Minecrafty, but so long as I'm not fighting with ampersands for the next 7 hours, I'm usually pretty happy with a roguelike. It doesn't have to be, you know, mind-bustingly AAA, but as long as it's something better than ASCII, I'm usually happy. The dungeons are pretty dark, but that forces a decision between visibility and shield use, and I think that adds to the tense nature of the deeper dungeons. Still, it was a wee bit dark for me, and no amount of fiddling with the gamma could get it to the point where I felt comfortable. I especially dislike how the game gets lighter as you walk through Fog of War. It was an odd mechanic that kind of hurt my eyes. If it was a design decision for the aforementioned reason, like they kept it dark so that you had to choose between a torch and a shield, I guess I accept it, but I didn't really like that aspect. Another area where I feel like it fell down was with regards to the random allocation of stat points. So when you level up, it just gives you random stats, and I'd like to have more control over that. So like, I would really like it if they put a tick box in the options so that you can choose whether you want random stats or not when you play the game. But the majority of my complaints with Barony are pretty small ones, and on the whole, I enjoyed my time with the game. If you're a collector of roguelikes who enjoys spending like wee hours of the night dungeon diving rather than sleeping, I'm pretty sure you'll get a good 8 hours out of Barony, and it's $6.99, so it's not an expensive game. I don't think you're going to find anything new in this game. Everything that it does has already been done. But with regards to critiquing a game like this, it's difficult because any complaints I could level at this game could be leveled at Tome or any other roguelike. So honestly, while it doesn't do a whole lot of things new, the things that it does do are done competently enough to be enjoyable if you're just looking for a new coat of paint on an old set of themes. My name is Splattercat. The game that we looked at today is called Barony. It's $6.99 on Steam if you wanted to pick it up. The show is called Weekly Indie Newcomer, where we hang out for a little while and take a look at an indie game that I've been playing a lot. I hope you'll join me for the next episode, and I will see you all later, everybody. I do.